They knew he was a man of God, that God had his hands on him, but he wasn't hooked up with the right people. Everybody knew that he brought a revolutionary view of what was going on. Everybody knew that he had the power to turn things upside down, and everybody knew that everybody wasn't happy. See, everybody ain't happy when change take place. Believe it or not, even when situations are messed up, when we look around and we see that there's got to be a better way than this, there's some folks who wanted to stay just like it is. Even in the midst of poverty, well, we can bring this thing home. Even here in Tuskegee, when we look around and we say there's got to be a better way, there's some folk who like it just like it is. And anybody that tries to get in the way, they got to go. The scribes, the Pharisees, the religious leaders, those of that time liked it just like it was. And here comes this carpenter from Nazareth who speaks, and multitudes of people follow him. He lays hands on folk. Blind folk are seeing. He touching lame folk, they're walking. They even told a story about him calling a dead man from the grave. He didn't ask us if he could do that.
All right. I know you're right.
Let's kill him. And by killing him, they just proved to the world who he was. If we look at it from the disciples' perspective here, they were sitting on top of the world. They were with the man who's going to turn this thing upside down. And he said, I got to go to Jerusalem. No, Jesus, you don't want to go there. Man, they going to kill us. Let's stay out here. Let's get the army together, then go to Jerusalem. No, we need to go to Jerusalem. But you know they're waiting on you. But we need to go to Jerusalem. But they'll kill you. I got to die. No, not you. I got to die.
Yeah.
Imagine what they were thinking. Here, Jesus hung on the cross, everything upside down.
I know you're right.
Here, their friend was killed. Here's a disappointment because they knew he was going to turn this thing upside down. And now he gone. What are we going to do now? It was a tragedy that he would die this unjust death. But it wasn't until he got up and came back that he explained to them why he had to go through what he went through. It wasn't until he broke down the scripture and showed what God's plan was that they understood why he had to go through all that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, some of you going through some stuff right now. You don't know why you got to go through what you're going through. All you know is you up in it and you don't know how you got there. You want to get out of it. I want you to know that whatever you're going through right now, no matter how heinous it may seem, no matter how painful it may be, God's got a plan. God just don't let stuff happen to be letting it happen, but God has a plan. And God had a plan for our redemption through Jesus' resurrection. The resurrection explained the meaning of his death. The resurrection of Christ was to the early disciples a dramatic demonstration of his deity. Even the disciples, those closest to him, thought that he was a prophet. They thought he was a healer. They thought he was a great rabbi. But they really couldn't grasp that he was man and he was God. You know, sometimes we can't get our minds around that. We can't decide what we want Jesus to be. You know, we want to make him our friend. We want to make him our brother.
Yeah.
But we just can't grasp him being God. John said it best of all. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was God. The Word was with God. Everything that was made by him and for him. Everything that was made.
Yes.
He was man and he was God. He was God, that he came from eternity into time, and he was man, that he was tempted in all things and sinned not. The resurrection declared Jesus of Nazareth to be the Son of God. It was no longer a matter of faith whether or not he was God, but it was a reality. He got up. He appeared with a new body. He sat down and ate with the disciples. They told Thomas, we saw the Lord. He got up. Thomas said, I ain't going to believe it till I see it with my own eyes and stick my hand in his side. Then I'll believe. And when Jesus showed up, said, Thomas, come here, bring your hand. Check this out. Thomas, look here. And what did Thomas say? My Lord and my God. He came face to face with the fact that Jesus wasn't just a man. He came face to face with the fact that Jesus did just what he said he would do. He came face to face with the fact that Jesus couldn't lie. And we know God can't lie. He got up. The resurrection of Christ explained the meaning of his death on the cross. The resurrection of Christ was a demonstration to the early disciples that he was God. But most importantly, the resurrection of Christ gave the disciples a companion to walk the road of life with. And he disclosed to the disciples